Josh is the VP of Marketing at Privy. Privy is seriously one of the best like pop-up and landing page creators for on-site optimization, email capture, and now with more advanced tools in retargeting and email automation, they make it possible to delay the need for a tool like SendLane, I might say. So when we looked at my starting growth stack, you could imagine starting with just Privy and waiting a little while before you needed a full-fledged SendLane or Klaviyo partner. But anyways, about Josh. Josh brings his marketing chops and lifelong passion for jam bands, craft beers, and small businesses to the team at Privy. Having spent time working at small business and e-commerce leaders like Constant Contact and Salsify, he has a deep understanding of how to help small and medium-sized e-commerce stores be all that they can be. In addition to leading Privy's marketing team, Josh spends too much of his time managing his pug Marvin's Instagram account. We need a link to Marvin's Instagram account.
Sure. Yeah, he's at Marvin's Pug World. It's
perfect.
It's pretty great. Okay, hold on. Let me just pull up my slides. Thank you very much for having me today. Can you see my slides okay?
Looks good. Hit the present button and let's go ahead and test moving from slide 1 to slide 2 so that we know it's working. Salvas was having some issues earlier. Looks good. I can see everything.
Awesome. So I wanted to say hi on video. I'm super self-conscious about wearing headphones on video. So I'm actually going to kill the video, but I'm a real live person. And I'm super excited to talk to you guys today. Let me just kill it. I might not be able to kill it. That's fine. All right. So, it's interesting listening to the last couple of presentations. I think it's the stuff that's going on with Facebook Messenger is super exciting. There's a ton of opportunity there, but I wanted to almost take a step back and talk about something that seems even more basic, but I would argue in a lot of cases is even more impactful, which is still about building your email list and doing some basic email automation to really drive the growth of your business when you're getting it off the ground. So today I'm going to talk about 3 things, sort of why it's important to grow your email list, some simple strategies to get started today at doing that, and then some basic email segmentation to get sales from your growing list. So just a little bit about Privy. Derek touched on this. We work with tons of Shopify stores. A lot of people just getting started, a lot of people who are much further along to really help them accelerate their email list growth, reduce cart abandonment, and drive that first sale from those new customers. So I think the first question that we hear a lot, and honestly is a big one, is when is the right time to start actively growing my email list? Is it before my store launches? Is it my store just launched and I don't have any traction yet? Or maybe I'm starting to get traction. Or maybe I wait till I'm much further along in getting traffic to start actively growing my list. But the answer there is start now. Right? We have this one customer called Daily High Club. They're a subscription box service. They've captured over 270,000 email addresses last time I checked. And Harrison, who's the CEO there, really talks about the biggest mistake I made in the history of the business was not collecting emails earlier. Right? Not building that foundation of people who have opted in to your marketing communications and are willing to listen to what you have to say. So today we're going to go through a bunch of different things you can use these email list growth strategies to help unlock your business. So they help with building a brand. They help with stopping site abandonment, driving that initial sale from a new visitor, building loyalty, and then, of course, driving repeat sales. So before I dive too far into that, I think this is a great quote. So this is from Toby. You guys probably all know who he is, founder of Shopify. And he had this great tweet, and he's talked about this before, where email lists and the website are the 2 only things you can own on the internet. Everything else is just rented. So if you're selling on Amazon, that's a great way to get new customers, but you don't really have a relationship with them. The Facebook Messenger stuff is awesome. Like, don't get me wrong, it's awesome, but it's also, you're at the will of Facebook ultimately. If they change how it operates, They recently went from allowing people to pre-check opt-in to not allowing that. And as a merchant or as an app provider, you have no control over that. With your email list and your website, you have a lot more control of your audience. And I think, I've been working in email marketing for a while, and it's like every year someone just loves to scream out that email marketing is dead. For a while it was millennials don't use email, which was true because they were in high school and they didn't have jobs. They didn't need email. A lot of people will scream social's the only thing that matters. But the fact is that email actually has higher conversions rates than search and social media combined. And the experts at Forrester Research have found that people are twice as likely to sign up for your email list as they are to engage with you on Facebook. Now that's starting to change a little bit, but email is still foundational to how you grow your business. And the proof is in the pudding, right? The ROI on email is 44-1, which is like insane. That's a $44 return on every dollar spent on email marketing. I put in this email I got from Old Navy because I pretty much get one every day. And I think it's kind of funny to think about. Like, this actually works. And they email me so often. But once in a while, I'm like, you know what? I could really go for a $10 pair of shorts today. They're delivering value with every email that they're sending. This is a great quote that I love. One of the first customers I talked to when I started at Privy a couple of years ago, there's this woman named Hannah from a company called Honest Beef, and they're basically removing the middleman between farmers and customers. She was early into this business. There's a bunch of people like this out there. Really cool lady. And I just love her. She's like, I don't know that I've ever not gotten sales from an email, right? Every time she sends out an email, money comes back through the door. So that's why we're still talking about email marketing. So when you think about the key to success, a lot of it's really about turning unknown visitors into subscribers. So what we're looking at here is sort of your basic standard shopper funnel, right? Someone needs to come to your store, whether that's through search or through paid ads. They need to visit your store. They need to shop around. They need to find something they like, add it to their cart. They need to get into the checkout process, and ultimately they need to buy, right? So it's not always this linear, but the thing is, in that purple box, those unknown shoppers, that's because in most cases, or in too many cases, people aren't actually asking for information about a shopper until they're reaching the checkout stage. Right, so we don't know who these people are. We can't reach back out to them, whether it's through email or through Facebook or whatever. You're waiting too long to ask for the information that turns people from unknown shoppers into known shoppers, right? So if you're capturing email addresses and engaging shoppers throughout the journey, it's giving you a leg up in actually growing your business. So the first thing to think about is how easy are you making it to get people to subscribe, right? To get shoppers to subscribe. I think a lot of us, we don't want to be overly salesy or whatever. We sort of look at sales as a bad word, but we're all in sales, whether we like it or not. And too often we're just sort of like sitting back. I always call it, I don't know if you guys remember Orange Leaf. It's sort of dying now, but it's one of these self-serve frozen yogurt places. And oftentimes you go in there, you find something you like, you put your 12 different flavors of frozen yogurt together, you come to the counter and there's no one there. Or there's some ornery teenager who's not actually interested in making the purchase. So I'm like desperately trying to buy, right? The other extreme is probably a more aggressive approach. And I was thinking of it as like the car salesman approach, where like you breathe in the general direction of a car salesman and they're right on top of you. I think neither of those is probably the best experience for the shopper. But if you don't ask someone to sign up, you're probably not going to get them to sign up. So there's a whole bunch of places that you can actually capture emails on your site, right? Each of these locations gives you a good reason to ask for an email address too. So whether that's on your homepage, in the footer of your website, on your blog if you have one, on each individual product page, some sort of contact page, you can create a different message that works for each location, right? So in some cases, you're going to be promoting a specific product or maybe a discount on that specific product. Or someone's scrolling through your blog and they seem highly engaged. You're going to want to ask them to opt in for future communications, right? So there's a bunch of different ways you can do it. And a lot of those are best done through pop-ups, right? And the fact is, there's a lot of negative stigmas about pop-ups. Like, they're super annoying in a lot of cases. There are ads and all this stuff, but that's not really what we're talking about. We're talking about pop-ups that are controlled by you, highly targeted, that help the shopper when they're used correctly, whether that's inserting additional information into the buying process or certainly giving them an easy way to opt into future communications, right? And the fact is they work. I mean, we're collecting millions of email addresses all the time by people who want to hear from these brands, especially small businesses who are not well, right? They want to build a relationship there. So we'll talk more about how to do that in a minute. All right, so what does that look like in practice? I think it's finding ways to ask someone to opt in appropriately throughout that shopper funnel. So when someone first arrives at your site, give them a sign-up offer with an email caption. Or when someone adds something to cart and then they go to abandon, give them a pop-up that offers a special discount or at least encourages them to stay so that they're eligible for your abandoned cart emails, right? Certainly capture those emails in your checkout flow. And send abandoned cart emails to anyone who's ever filled out a form, right? The beauty of all of this stuff, of turning these unknown shoppers into subscribers, is they become eligible for your abandoned cart emails, right? Unlike a lot of systems, you have to make it all the way into checkout. You have to have something in your cart. You have to check that box that opts you in for email marketing communications. You have to enter your email address. The reality is not many of us get that far in the shopping process all the time. Whether it's your kid takes your phone or something comes up or like your boss comes by and you got to get back to work. There are a million different reasons that people abandon their carts. But if someone's ever filled out a form on your site with something like Privy, they're eligible for that abandoned cart email if it's done correctly. So as you think about putting these strategies into practice, there's really three things you need to consider for any list growth campaign: your offer, your display type, and your triggers. So I love this data. This is from Microsoft, actually. They did a study a couple years ago and found that 89% of consumers are willing to share personal info in exchange for clearly defined benefits. Right? It's a classic sales technique of give value to get value. I think where people fall down a lot is they're like, give me, opt in, but they're not providing anything back to the shopper. There's no why there. So really, it's important to think about what is your offer, right? And what's the right time to give people a reason to subscribe. The most popular offer, and this isn't surprising, is definitely some sort of discount, right? Get 15% off on your favorite products, valid for 24 hours, whatever it is, something that's in context that says, you've been on my site, if you like what you see, opt in and get a great discount on your first purchase. That's not the only way, but let's start there for now. So if you're doing that, and I think there was a question during the last session around how do you sort of make sure these things don't get out? I'll take a step back. There's two types of discounts you can offer using Shopify. Right? And Privy will sync automatically with your Shopify store when you create a discount. This is super easy. We're not the only ones who do that, but it's super powerful. So a master coupon is one code that's used for all signups. So that's like, call it like welcome 10. It's something you can put everywhere. There's no real restrictions on it. It's 10% discount. Hopefully it's one use per customer, something like that. But it's not unique to any individual. So if I sign up for a deal, I get the same discount code that Derek gets when he signs up for a deal. The better option is actually what's called a unique coupon code. So these are single-use coupon codes where there's extra characters appended to that coupon code so that I get one version of it and Derek gets a different version of it. And those come with a bunch of different advantages. You control the distribution of those. There's no chance that those wind up someplace that it gets abused. It starts to cost your business money. It also can make them very time relative. So you can set it, for example, for a coupon to expire 72 hours after someone first signs up on your website, or shorter or longer or whatever it is. These are great for things like flash sales or Black Friday weekend or whatever it happens to be. Unique coupon codes are always going to be the best way to deliver a discount. But again, your offer does not have to be a discount. Right, so you see a bunch of different examples here. One is a content download, a great way to get people to opt in. Another is a sweepstakes. The one on the right of the screen is a spin to win. So these are these highly engaging campaign types where someone enters their email address and the wheel spins and one of any number of prizes could come out. Could be a discount, could be free shipping, could be a whole bunch of different things. And that's completely within your control. Or there's sort of this bottom example, which is really more mission driven, right? It's if you like our brand, sign up you can hear about future promotions and inspiration. Bunch of different reasons that people might sign up for your email list. So question is, what's the right display type? So there's a bunch of different display types out there. We talked a little bit about location before, what pages you're showing things on, but also how are you showing it? So there's things like a pop-up, which I'm sure you're familiar with. Those are great for a homepage or a product page. There's a bar, which sort of sits at the top of the page. So those are great for things like free shipping offers or site-wide sales or whatever. There's other offers which are flyouts, right? So they sort of come from the bottom of the screen, and they also are awesome for mobile because they format better for a mobile device. And then the last one is banners, and these are cool because they sort of expose themselves down. They have some action with them as well that draws the eye of the shopper. The next thing to think about is your trigger, right? So there's basically 4 ways to trigger one of those displays. There's a timer, which is probably the most commonly used. You can control how long someone is on the page before they're shown a pop-up. Exit intent, also super popular, very powerful. And what happens there is that's triggering the display when it looks like you're attempting to leave a page or leave a site. So your mouse is moving towards the X bar or towards the X to close out a tab or towards the back button. Mobile works a little bit differently, but it still works. The third option is a scroll. So how far down the page has someone gotten when you want to show them your display? And then the last is a tab, which is sort of like an ever-present thing that might sit in the corner of your page or whatever, a more passive but still powerful way to get people to opt in. So now we've talked a lot about sort of the what, but let's talk about the who, right? So let's talk about some basic segments you can use to build your subscriber list. The fact is that most e-commerce stores treat everyone the same, and it shows, right? Kind of wind up like you're working at a McDonald's asking every single person who comes in, like, do you want fries with that? And again, that's better than doing nothing, right? If you have that welcome pop-up that's reaching everyone, asking them to opt in, like, great place to start. There's nothing inherently wrong with that, but I think, it's not ideal. You can do better to deliver that sort of right message at the right time to the right people. So we can think about some basic customer segments to start growing your list. And segmentation can sound scary, but it really doesn't have to be. And it's sort of this combination of inferred and captured data. So there's things that you know or that we know about a shopper when they hit your site that they haven't actually told us. So we know the language of their browser. We know where they came from. They know how many times they've been there. So you can start building these different displays that speak to things like first-time visitors or repeat visitors, or maybe people who have left something in their cart and are now coming back, or maybe they were last on your site over Black Friday weekend. Whatever it is, one-time customers versus loyal customers, you can use what you know about shoppers to target them with the right message. And honestly, a little bit of effort really goes a long way when you start to use these types of things. So I'm going to walk through 6 examples of these sort of targeted displays, right? So taking it beyond that simple welcome pop-up to something a bit more targeted. So the first thing to think about is brand new visitors. So this is an example I like. It's a brand called Firesider. Really nice branded pop-up that greets you on your first visit to their site, right? Be in the know. We'd love to tell you about our products, some of our favorite recipes, and when our tangy tonic is on sale. P.S. You'll get a discount, right? So they're using a discount, but they're kind of not leading with it. And then they follow up with a really cool autoresponder that's a nice warm welcome, right? Welcome to the family. You're on the list. It's not overly salesy. The second thing is to recognize returning visitors and whether or not they've already joined your email list, right? So the example here on the left is a welcome back display, and that's being shown only to people who have not already signed up for your email list. Whereas the one on the right, which is from the Bruce Lee merch store, they do all sorts of cool stuff using Privy. This person's already signed up for their email list, so now we want to get them right to the sale that's going on right now. And then even better, this one's targeting people who are returning visitors who have an item in their cart, right? So imagine someone's gone away, they've decided to come back, maybe they don't remember what's in their cart, but it's like, okay, great, looks like you have items in your cart, I'm gonna take you directly to your cart, right? I'm gonna make it easier for you to make a purchase. The next thing to think about is sort of stopping abandonment before it happens. So we talked a little bit about exit intent. What this is doing is combining sort of cart value and exit intent. So someone has an item in their cart, they're going to leave. I love this example, really on brand for the Tennessee Titans merch store. It's like, time out. Before you go anywhere, right? We see that you're leaving. We can speak directly to the use case. Time out, get 10% off on a bunch of different products. All you have to do is enter your email address. It's very straightforward, right? But it allows you to speak directly to the situation that the shopper's in. The one on the right is actually part of, there's 2 or 3 of these that run at any one time based on the value of what's in someone's cart. And this is actually a better offer that they're showing someone because they have more than $50 in their cart. They're getting a 15% off. So some cool things that you can do to actually stop abandonment before people leave the site using the combination of exit intent and cart value targeting. Now, once someone's actually signed up for your list, right, once they've opted in already, you can use these same strategies to actually drive urgency among your most engaged shoppers. So the example on the right is using, this is a pop-up that a company called Lisa Mattress uses. And here they're using this custom timer to drive urgency to make a purchase today. The one on the left is actually saying, okay, you've already got something in your cart. They're going to try to upsell me to say, okay, would I like 3 extra sponges in my cart for just $6? Right? So they're building on that based on what's actually in my cart already. The next thing you can do with these types of tools is actually you can do geography-specific locations. So just a couple quick examples here. This is super relevant for things like shipping or additional costs, or maybe there's state restrictions. So here we're seeing one at the bottom that's a free shipping bar, but really we would only show that to shoppers who are in the US and Canada. Also, some things you can do to recognize your rewards members based on whether they're logged in to their reward system, or in some cases they're in your membership program but they haven't actually joined your email list. So you can speak directly to them to say, hey, Gold member, sign up for this and you'll get additional points that you can redeem later. And then lastly, you can use these same tools to say thank you, right? To drive opt-ins in other ways. So this is one we really like. It's from Kinky Curly Yaki. And this happens after someone makes a purchase. They get this really nice, warm thank you message directly from the founder and CEO of the company. So now that your list is growing, right, you've got these things in place. Let's talk a little bit about some of the things that you can put in place to put those subscribers and take them from subscriber to customer with some automated emails targeting specific segments of your audience. So before I dive into those specific things, I think it's important to recognize the difference between email personalization and making emails personal, right? So when a lot of people talk about email personalization, they're really talking about like inserting a token, And you should do that, right? If you have someone's first name, you should use it. If you have additional information about them, you should definitely use it. But the bigger opportunity, especially as a small business, is to make your emails personal, right? This is not something that Walmart's ever going to send. They're not going to have the CEO's family on the front welcoming you into the brand. So it's really an opportunity to share your mission and what you're all about and why people should buy from you. So a few examples here. The first is the autoresponder that goes out when someone signs up for your email list, right? I love the one on the left. It's very on brand for this company, where it's like, oh, hey girl, welcome to Hello Buco. It's great to meet you. Then they sort of get into a little bit of what they're all about. The one on the right I like even more. This is, they were Shark Tank. They were on Shark Tank. They were a customer of ours. And they had this product called Cupboard Pro, which was actually sold out. So when I signed up for their email list, I got a really nice welcome to the family, email that instead of asking me to buy something, it actually, so the dad who had originally applied for Shark Tank passed away. He was a firefighter and he died due to inhaling stuff in 9/11 cleanup. So here, instead of saying, just, oh, our products are out of stock, we'll get back to you, they really introduce you to the family and they ask you to consider donating to the Fireman's Relief Fund. Right? So it's a very warm welcome. And then later down the road, when I got a sales email, I absolutely bought their product. The second thing, and I sort of mentioned this earlier, is to use automated cart recovery emails, right? To bring shoppers back with something that's actually very simple, right? It's just saying, oh, you forgot something that's in your cart. Here's a link back to the cart page. And, it's just a reminder email. And you can build series off this that get more complex, that are offering a discount or showing exactly what you left in the cart. But even these basic cart recovery emails are very impactful as a permanent way for someone to remember that they found something they liked and make it easy for them to get back to your shopping cart. And again, if you're collecting emails throughout the process, anyone who's signed up for one of your Privy forms or whatever is eligible then for a cart recovery email if it's the same system. You can also inspire subscribers who have never actually purchased from you. Right, so I like this one on the left. Just for you, 30% off your first order. On the right, thanks for signing up. These are really speaking directly to those new subscribers who have not yet placed an order, right? Talking to them in the state of mind that they're already in. You can also use highly relevant information in your emails, right? Based on what you know about a shopper. So whether that's more of a holiday theme, or I really like this one on the left. It's a company called Rave Pack. And based on location, they know that you are likely to be going to this event in Las Vegas. Here's a thing specific to that, right? Making it a more personal touch than just a generic message. And then lastly is to re-engage lapsed customers with simple win-back emails, right? I like this one from American Apparel because it's so easy, right? It's just like, hey, we miss you, come back, shop with us again, and take 50% off everything, right? So you can do that based on the fact that someone hasn't made a purchase within a certain time frame, or maybe you haven't even, their last seen date was ages ago. You can send out sort of these win-back emails that can be really powerful. And then I guess the last one is really just send order follow-up emails with a personal touch. So these are emails that are triggered once someone makes a purchase. You usually put like a time delay in here. It's not necessarily a transactional email, but what it is sort of it's an opportunity to continue that brand relationship. So the one on the left is a customer satisfaction guarantee from a company called Relay Foods that I really like. It's a warm welcome. The CEO's picture is right on it. The one on the right is from a camping company. And I just love the image they use here. It makes me feel really good about my purchase, and it's asking for my feedback to leave a review or answer a question. So some key takeaways here as we sort of wrap up. I think email might feel old school. It's not maybe as sexy as some of the other topics that you might learn about. But your email list is one of the most important assets that you have as a business. The second is that you can use these email list growth tools to create a welcoming brand experience for all of your shopper segments. Third is your basic segmentation and personalization is really actually easy to accomplish and worth the effort. And then lastly, getting started is super easy. So I think I'm just about out of time, but that's my email address, just josh@privy.com. If you want to sign up, it's free to sign up and start using Privy. You can do that at privy.com/sign up, or just from our homepage. You'll see all the stuff there. So thank you very much for having me. I think this stuff is super important, and I'm excited for you guys to take advantage of some of these tips.
Thank you so much, Josh. Yeah, and I think, like you said, email is old school, but it's like I don't know, it's like driving a car. You just have to have a car. You have to do it. It's the backbone of your starting success. So all these new fancy channels that we talk about, including Messenger, SMS, and Felix is about to show us push notifications. They are new and improved ways of marketing, but email still very, very important in the backbone to it. So Privy is the perfect tool for capturing emails, and we saw the power of how you can do the segmented follow-ups, which is super important and brilliant because it's increasing conversion rate and it's easy to do. I dropped the partner link here in chat. Actually, no, I did not. I sent it to one person. Let me send it to everybody really quick. Next up, so thanks again, Josh, and we'll see you later, and we'll make sure that this replay is available to everyone.
Thanks, everyone.